What is the worst thing you have done to your ex? Early Wi-Fi days, drove by her apartment during final week in college and changed her Wi-Fi router's ID and password so she wouldn't be able to connect. We broke up because I caught her cheating on me. Like caught, walked in on insertion. Was with a guy. She got mad at me for being jealous of how much she had been talking to him. She started dating him right away. Years later I ran into the guy and told me she did it to him too, and that they were doing stuff for months before I caught them. He told me she was enraged about the internet not working when she really needed it. We are both lawyers. I found out he cheated on me. I took his lawyer's robes and hid them on a day I knew he needed them in order to appear in high court. He had to show up in front of the judge and try to explain why he didn't have his robes. Was right behind her in the line at the store and I saw her eyes go wide when she saw me, so I know she recognized me. I hadn't seen her in about 10 years and she had left herself go, so I pretended I didn't recognize her. I have done this exact thing. The girl I went out with and lost my virginity to. She was weird, she was manipulative and maybe semi-emotionally abusive, but I was young and had no idea. Probably wouldn't have cared back then either because she was hot. After she broke up with me, over phone by the way, and never really told me why I didn't see her after that at all. Then one day years later I get a text from an unknown number apologizing for anything she'd done. Took me a while to figure out who it was because when I responded asking who it was I never got a response. Then, a few years later after that, I saw her in the grocery store I worked at. She walked right up to me and goes, "Hi." I stare at her a moment and give her my arbitrary smile and nod as I say, "Do you need help with anything, miss?" Her face dropped and she says, "You don't remember me?" "Sorry," I said, "I don't." Found out she cheated on me because I went onto my computer and hit enter into Facebook. She used it last, so seeing a message from my friend was weird until I realized I was on hers and Reddit. Happened at like 1 a.m. when I got home. Had her in the car with her stuff 20 minutes later and dropped her off wailing at her mom's apartment while she begged me for another chance. Her mom was dead asleep and didn't hear her knock or call, so I left her in the rain with her stuff. She spent the next couple years unblocking me and checking my Facebook, then blocking me again. Every guy she posted a pic with had the comment, "He treats me so much better than me." But nobody that knew us believed it because of how good I treated her. Called cops on him. He wouldn't let me leave for a few days, and I really wanted to go home. One day, he took my car, my phone and purse and left the house to buy some illegal stuff. I took the opportunity to run to a neighbor's house and ask them to call the police. About 5 cop cars showed up as he was pulling in the driveway. He acted all innocent, but I kept yelling at the cops that he wouldn't let me leave. Told them this is my car, he has my possessions. They pulled him aside, and gave me the opportunity to get whatever I had to get and leave safely. Edit, thank you all for the responses. Truly was one of the scariest experiences that I went through. Okay, it was incredibly pretty and definitely way less than he deserved, but it was very satisfying. He was abusive over a few months. I put money away and gradually pack a few essentials and arranged for my friend to come pick me up at about 2 a.m. when I knew he would definitely be at work. Before he left for work, he had hit me really hard. The abuse had gotten to a point where he didn't care about leaving visible marks. I was so angry and so done at this point that I went and poured out all his alcohol down the sink and stole all the light bulbs in his flat. So when he got home from work, he had no lights and no alcohol to drink. Edit, thank you so much for the comments and support, it means so much. I now work with a domestic abuse charity supporting people who are in my exact situation. If you see this and are struggling in an abusive relationship, please reach out. There are so many people and charities who can help you. You are not alone. Edit 2, for those wondering, I did go to the police and he was arrested. I had been documenting the injuries I got in a locked folder on my phone. This was so he couldn't see them and delete them. He did end up going to prison. He is currently still in. He got 7 years for grievous bodily harm, sexual assault and coercive control. My documenting of what he was doing to me played a huge part in his sentence. If you are in an abusive relationship, please be careful documenting your injuries like I did. Whilst it was incredibly helpful in his conviction, it can put you in danger. Make sure you upload them to the cloud and make sure every copy is in a folder with a different passcode to your normal phone passcode. I do not recommend having hard copies until you are out of the situation. Digital is much easier and safer to hide. Please remember you're never alone and you are loved. She cheated on me with a friend of mine. Perhaps not the most mature thing to do, but from the moment I found out, I haven't uttered a single word to her. I just up and left. I'm not easy to anger and not a violent man, but honest to God, I don't know how much I'd have reacted facing her, so I chose not to. My crazy ex-boyfriend cheated on me multiple times when we were together. He never confessed to it. It was either his brothers telling me or me finding out from the girls. He would always blame me for cheating. The last 3 months of our relationship he had a new girlfriend and I didn't find out till later. Anyways, I carved cheater on his pumpkin and put it in front of his house. Also, someone apparently sent a hooker to his house and he blamed me for it, but it wasn't me. But thank you whoever did that. I had an ex who was a drug addict. His cycle was to sober up, until he was in a relationship. Then, he would relapse. We started dating and he had his own place, exercised, biked to work and my house. He was ripped. Then, little by little, things changed. I had no idea. I ended up staying through 2 rehab stays. The last time he had came out of rehab, he stole my paycheck, my car, etc. I had moved to be closer to the last rehab. I almost got assaulted by his dealer, who came to my new place. I guess he let him know where we moved. I decided to finally leave and went into the military, which I had been putting off because he needed support. So, I told him I would come to him after I got out of training. I called him while I was gone in the boot camp, etc. One time I called and a woman answered the phone. I lied to her and told her I was calling all my friends from back home to tell them I was graduating boot camp, AIT. Asked to talk to him. When he got on the phone, I immediately told him to tell me that he loved me. He wouldn't. I wanted to make him squirm. So, I asked him again. I heard him walk to the bathroom and flush to toilet to cover up the voice while he quickly said, "I love you, haha." I told him I understood that he needed someone to take care of him, and that this woman needed to be gone by the time I got back. You get vacation time in between training and active duty to move your belongings to the duty session. And, that he would go to my active duty station with me, we would fly there together. By the time I went on leave, like vacation in between training and active duty, he had gotten rid of his apartment, quit his job, and was waiting for me at the airport, because I told him my parents were too pissed at him for him to come to the house. Instead, I drove to active duty and never picked him up. Left him waiting at the airport. F him. Scrubbed her from my socials. Erased 6 years, 2.5 married, of my life, posts, comments, likes, photos, everything. I'm a man and an abuse survivor. Men can be victims. Erasing my ex-wife was an extreme, she deserved it. Edit, holy crap, this blew up. Thank you to everyone who upvoted and commented positive things. Wow, happy to hear you could get out of that. Pretty as heck, but I told her that her favorite designer purse I had bought was fake. It wasn't, obviously, but I heard she gave it away pretty quickly. Some random person out there has a really nice genuine St. Laurent bag and that makes me happy. I knew her Mike Jersey's password. I waited until she built up a lot of points, then went and got myself a free sandwich. Not an ex, but one time I was talking to 2 girls from Tinder at the same time. Unbeknownst to me, they were best friends. They must have gotten to talking and realized that they were talking to the same guy. They sent me a barrage of nasty messages, calling me a frick boy and the like. I kind of just laughed it off and chalked it up as a loss. A few hours later, one of the girls texted me again. She said she wasn't mad at me, just surprised I would pursue someone as ugly as her friend, and that she was still interested in meeting up for a date. I took a screenshot of what she wrote, sent it to the other friend, and then blocked them both. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more like these, consider liking, sharing and subscribing. Thanks.